So Redmond, your impressions of the first 18 years of this daughter of yours?
Well, I think one of the things that surprised me most about you was all my earliest memories were about us going on walks, and almost from the moment we left the car, you screaming that you didn't want to walk, and you doing this to go on my shoulders. And
I did not go on your shoulders.
After 20 minutes, I'd always give in, and your mum would tell me off for it.
But now,
And now,
I ask you to go on walks.
you asked me to go walking in the Malverns.
We're going on
early,
Saturday.
And we walk loads. So, and I don't know anyone who walks more than you, or did walk more.
Yeah.
You don't do so much now.
I don't do so much now. I will.
So she wasn't she wasn't angelic then?
No, she was very angelic when she had a squeaky little voice, but she also knew what she wanted and made sure everyone else did. There were times when we'd go on trips in the car and she would just undo her seatbelt. So I'd have to pull the car over, put it back on, drive 10 yards, she'd undo it again, put it back on. With her brother and her sister screaming at her that she was making the journey longer and spoiling things. But you're quite stubborn, weren't you, really?
Very stubborn. Another memory I have of this house is being locked out for bad behaviour when I was younger. I remember I would just be locked out for like an hour, probably deserved it, in the pitch black, and I would just be terrified that someone would come around the corner and just grab me. So I'd stand like next to the door and be really annoying to people inside by like knocking on the door, and so they would shut the curtains. So I mean, I probably deserve it now I think about it, but I just remember that being a very scary time. I'd also, if I was naughty, I'd have to sit on those stairs over there, and I used to like bang on the wood and every time I would be noisy, an extra minute would go on the timer.
We went back with Jemima to the old house at Holy Plains Barns just before it was sold. And this trip, well, it brought back quite a few memories.
So if you come here, this was the office with the toilet there. Basically where Dad spent all of his time playing games on the computer and worked there. And then if you come through here, this was the snug. This was my favourite room. It's like the brightest room, and we had a little projector that came down there. And so this is where I watched all films and stuff like that. But this is the newest room of the house. We had it for like 5 years. This room, this is the kitchen. This was done the same time as the snug because they swapped round. And we used to eat here. And I used to do a lot of baking actually. A memory from this house is definitely Pancake Day. It was a very exciting thing in our house. We used to do little videos of our pancakes being made, and we'd always try and flip them. I think I dropped many of the pancakes trying to flip them. Lula's specialty was lemon and sugar, but I did love just a classic maple syrup on my pancakes, but yeah. This was the lounge. Nicest place in the winter. We had the fire on and we would sit there, watch TV, and then there was a table here where we used to eat on Sundays if we had people around. Then if you go upstairs, this room was Mum and Dad's room. They had a toilet there. kind of new. The toilet didn't used to be here. I think it's been here for like 2 years now. And if you come through here, this was the main bathroom. So when Lula and Zach left, it was my bathroom. But it's got a toilet, bathroom, shower. So Christmas morning at the Peel's house means waking up for me at 6 o'clock, but not allowed to go into a parent's room until 7. And then we would get into our parents' room where the stockings would be, because I used to be scared of Santa, so I never had a stocking in my room. And we would open the stockings up here, then we would get ready, and then we would go downstairs. So we'd come downstairs and have a little bit of a breakfast, but none of us were really breakfast people. We'd then sit under the tree, which used to be there, and open our presents in here. And then pretty much spend the whole day in here playing games, going on a walk, and just watching Christmas TV. And if you come down here, the first room is Lula's room. This used to be Zach's room, but it changed to Lula's room. Lula, honestly, I love having an older sister, just someone to do something with. We would always, as a child, play like teachers, play Lego together, and she spent a lot of her childhood selling me stuff, and she would steal it from my room and sell it me again. And as the youngest, I would just go along with it. So she did used to trick me. But we would either love each other or we would hate each other. So we did get into a lot of arguments and a lot of pulling each other's hair. But generally, we do get on well. And then this is my room. But it was the biggest room, definitely. But me and Lily used to share a room, and he used to go all the way across here. And then we split in half. So now Zach's room, he had the coolest room because he used to sleep up there. And then on the mezzanine, so the loft was like up there, so he was level with it. So, but it was the smallest room, so he did get the worst. Me and Zach, when we were younger, we would argue a lot, but we'd also spent a lot of our childhood ganging up on Lula. And I worked out that if I just side with Zach in every argument, I win every argument. So I used to side with Zach, and then we would win all our arguments. But we did get on pretty much. We both enjoyed sports, so we used to go outside and we would throw some hoops and stuff like that, and he would always win majority of the time. But I did get better. What it's like to have an older brother. I feel like Zach wasn't the typical older brother. He wasn't like really strong, like he wouldn't beat someone up. But I think generally he was secretly protective of me, but he wouldn't want to admit it. He definitely got the clever genes in the family. Being next to the road meant a lot of cars went past, so we did have one instance. A car was driving by. I'm not sure how they flipped exactly, but they were just coming round, and I think there was a car in the way, and they just flipped over. And I remember hearing like a big bang, so I went upstairs and looked through the window which faces it, and the guy was fine. He came in and he waited in here until like the ambulance came, and the fire brigade, I think. some people would find it like scary or unnerving, like watching the cars as they drove like towards you kind of, but I loved sitting at the kitchen table just watching the cars as they came by. One of the nicest memory I have is me and Mum were driving home from school, and we were just driving up this road and we see Dad talking to the neighbour, and next thing we know, Dad's getting punched in the face, which wasn't the most pleasant. So there was someone driving next to us, so we had to get his details to basically phone the police and say, but we've had police round before to check on the neighbours because a bit dodgy we've had. So yeah, so that's not the nicest memory of this house. The reason he was talking to Dad was Dad had made a complaint about, I'm not even quite sure what, I think they were doing something wrong, or there was a lot of cars going in, and he basically raised that with Dad, and Dad was like, oh well, that's fine, like I didn't mean to do that. And he basically didn't like the way Dad had complained, so he just swung for him really. And then it was the week after, or the week before, I think it was the week after, Dad for work went in, and they used to keep all their stuff in barns for work, and he was moving them out, and he was talking to his farmer, and the farmer got really angry, and Dad was just sitting in his seat, and he just swung for Dad again, and Dad got punched. So 2 punches in 2 weeks. Bit dodgy. I have a very irrational fears, random ones, like I'm terrified of space. The thought of someone going to space, because I just think they could just land on my head or land on my roof. And I know it's ridiculous, but I just have it. I also terrified of sharks in the swimming pool. I've got better, but when I would swim, I would just picture a shark behind me, and it would be scary. And another one, me and Lula, when we were younger, would be terrified of burglars, and we wouldn't go upstairs until Dad went upstairs and checked on us, because we would just be scared. They'd just be hiding around the corner, and then they would just get us. I'm quite lucky, I'd say, because I've kind of met my soulmate in a friend. So me and Emily, we've known each other our whole lives, but we kind of only became best friends in high school. We weren't in any of the same classes, but we knew each other, and then we were in the same friendship group, and now we literally cannot spend a day without each other. Like last week I was at her house, I think, for 3 days straight. But her family is kind of like my second family. I eat with them. Her gran even takes me out for meals. So yeah, it's really nice.
I remember you used to come to our house and used to like to do a bit of entertainment. We used to have to go upstairs and had to sit and watch you doing your performances, if you remember.
I love a good performance. Anything for me to be the main attention. That's what I love. And I used to go to Salon Theatre, well, with school, and we used to do little performances there. And I would dance. I remember I used to go up to your bedroom, and I used to dance with the keyboard, and I would put the music on with the keyboard, and I would dance away, and I'd act like there was a whole audience there.
So you're quite close to your old primary school at Claims.
Very close now.
So what are your memories from that? You were telling me about bell boating. What on earth's that?
Bell boating. So it's like canoeing. So you have like five I think either side, and then one at the back steering, and we'd I don't know what you row away, and we actually won a competition at my school. This is
on the River Severn.
On the River Severn, we won a competition. We were the fastest team out of all primary schools who bow boat. So not many primary schools, but yeah, I was in primary school. I was a very messy child as well, and I would get dirt all down me. I'd cut myself a lot. Very clumsy. But yeah.
Well, you were telling me you want to show your wound.
Show my room.
You had a bit of an accident with an iron this morning.
This morning? Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday.
Oh, ow. It's very sore.
Oh dear.
Luckily, the skin moved, so it wasn't a big sack. You know how they go like a sack.
Yeah.
But it is sore. It is sore. So that was fun.
Yeah. So you went to Tudor Grange. Well, were you popular there?
No.
Oh.
I was not popular. I had a nice friendship group with there was
A what, sorry?
friendship group
Oh yeah.
with 10 of us, and Emily as well, she was in it. But I wasn't really a naughty child in high school really, or I was just in the middle for everything really. I did one of their shows once and never again.
So who was your favourite teacher?
Who's Mr. Richards, my science teacher, and he was my science teacher, my triple science teacher, and my tutor, and
Okay.
he was my favourite.
So does that mean you loved science?
No, I didn't love science. My favourite subject was PE, definitely, and I loved my PE teacher, but science teacher was just really nice. And
Well, did you make the netball team?
I didn't. I made the netball team. Got to nationals in handball. I wasn't very good, but somehow we got there. I did trampolining as well, which I wasn't very good at, but enough to get me a GCSE in it.
Okay. Right, Jemima, I remember your performance at the Swan Theatre. We thought you were going to be a star, particularly a musical star, but didn't quite come off, did it?
I didn't get the singing talent. Yes, and warning, I have not played the piano in a very long time.
How many?
Like a good 3-4 years.
Oh, okay. We'll take that into account then.
So take that into account. Okay.
So why do you like it in your gym?
I love working out for the satisfaction afterwards I feel of knowing that I've just worked out and to keep fit and all that. I love driving.